guys, welcome back to The Vegan View. On today's episode, we are bringing you 20 hacks to simplify your vegan life.
You guys may notice that Alessandra is missing in action in this episode. In case you missed some of our other episodes, she is traveling, so she is missing from a few episodes this month, but she will be back very soon. But she did send us her hacks. So
She sent more
she's
of a
here
list
in
of like
spirit.
60.
She sent a great list, so
Yeah.
I'm very excited to share that with you guys.
It's so great because she does travel so much, hence why she's not here.
Yeah.
But she has so many great tips because traveling, I think, is the hardest when
Yeah.
you're vegan.
Yeah.
So,
For sure.
yeah.
I'll start with Alessandra's number one tip. So she says to keep the sugar of your choice with you while traveling or in your car. It'll make any bad coffee you get anywhere slightly more enjoyable. If vegan milk isn't accessible, you'll at least have the stevia, monk fruit, etc. I think that's a great tip.
Yeah, that is a great tip.
My tip is to call restaurants ahead of time to see if anything can be made vegan. So if they don't already have something vegan on the menu, call and see if they can make something, or call and ask them if anything on the menu existing is already vegan. It just makes your life so much easier when you get to the restaurant. You don't have to worry about it because you kind of already know what you can order.
So my first vegan hack would be to eat before you go places. If you're invited somewhere, invited to a birthday party or a picnic or a dinner even, or a family or friend's house, always eat before you go because you never know. There might not be anything for you to eat wherever you go. So
Yeah. Don't assume.
don't assume. I always eat at least a little something, get something in my system before I head out somewhere.
Yeah.
One of my top vegan tips is to take regular recipes and just replace them with vegan items. I have found, especially with things like chocolate chip cookies, if I just look up vegan chocolate chip cookie recipe, they never turn out as delicious. And then the one time that I looked up just a regular, actually twice, I looked up regular chocolate chip recipes and I just replaced, I don't know if it's the measurements, I don't know what it is, but I just replaced certain items with vegan items and they were the best cookies that I've had. And it wasn't like a designated vegan recipe.
Yeah.
So that is something that I've noticed.
That's so true. I do that a lot, actually. I'll just let's say I want to make a jambalaya.
Yeah.
I don't Google vegan jambalaya.
Yeah.
I just look up, because I want to know how it's originally
The
made.
spices.
Yes.
The spice,
Yeah.
like whatever. So, replacing it. That's
Yeah.
so perfect.
Alessandra's next one is actually pretty similar to yours. She said, if you're lacking inspo on what to cook, don't be afraid of using recipes. If there was a recipe you liked before going vegan, see if you can veganize it. It might become your new favorite meal. I think that's a
true.
great tip because I have some old recipes that I grew up eating.
Yeah.
And
I didn't start looking up recipes until I went vegan, and I was like, oh, I wonder what vegan recipes are out there. And you find so many different things that you didn't know existed.
so many. My next tip is to use vegan apps. Vegan Passport is my absolute favorite app that I use whenever I go out of the country. It will pull up in any language in whatever country you're in how to say that you're vegan.
Oh, wow.
And I
that's great.
often, because I'm not going to try to butcher the language, I'll just hand them the phone and then they'll read it, and it's been so easy to travel as a vegan. I can't even
great.
tell you, I've done it in
Wow.
Greece, I've done it in Cyprus, I've done it in Italy, I've done it in Thailand. Everywhere I go, they just read it and they're like, okay, I got you. And then they know exactly what to make. So it's a lifesaver.
Oh, that's so
Another
great.
app, I haven't used it in a while because I pretty much know if something's vegan or not, but it's called Is It Vegan? You can scan, if you're at the store and you're not sure if something's vegan, you can actually scan the barcode and it will pop up and say if it's vegan or not.
Wow.
Yeah.
I need to get
Two
some
apps I did not know about, but
Yeah.
they're definitely getting downloaded tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another app that we definitely have to mention is Happy Cow. So
Yes.
if you're honestly anywhere in the world. I've used it in other countries. I've also used it in the U.S. If you're in a new city that you're not familiar with, Happy Cow is a great resource for vegan restaurants or vegan-friendly restaurants, and it'll clearly distinguish what's vegan-friendly, what's vegetarian, what's vegan, and sometimes you can read some like reviews on what people ordered and what they liked, so that's a super helpful app as well.
Yeah, I've definitely used Happy Cow around the world.
I feel like Happy
great.
Cow's the OG. They've been around for a long time. They've saved me many times.
Truly.
My next tip is, you know, sometimes, especially when you're first starting off, or if you're a busy vegan, like figuring out what meals to make and prepare can be hard. So I suggest making bigger meals to eat for multiple days. Like make a big dinner that you can have for lunch the next day, and maybe lunch the day after that. A big thing of chili, or a big thing of soup, or some kind of stew, or, you know, a bunch of different, like rice and beans. Like make big batches so that you have food to eat and you don't have to constantly think about, okay, what am I going to eat for lunch? What am I going to eat for dinner? You know?
That's a great one. Especially if you're a new vegan, that can be really stressful. You're just like trying to figure out what to eat.
Yeah.
One of mine is still to this day, if I'm going to a barbecue or some sort of potluck with friends who aren't vegan, is bring your own items to barbecue. Like Beyond sausages are a great option, so I definitely love grabbing a pack of those and some buns and bringing those. And a lot of times people will be curious about what you're having, because you guys know you've grilled the Beyond sausages and they smell delicious, so they'll want to try what you're having. And this actually happened to me recently. We went to a barbecue and we just brought our own Beyond sausages.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, so just bring your own stuff.
Love that. Hey!
Love
Jinx, you owe me a kombucha.
Okay.
One more kombucha.
Oh, I love it still.
Yeah, bring it on.
Bring on the kombucha.
I'm burnt out.
Alessandra's next tip is produce is already cheaper than most things at a grocery store, but you can cut your grocery costs significantly by shopping at Hispanic and Asian supermarkets.
Whew, yes, I get like a lot of veggies, especially my oyster mushrooms, because I love to like fry them and do different things with like mushrooms. Oh my gosh, at Asian markets, so much less expensive.
Oh, that is a great tip. My next one is one that we've also mentioned in another video, which is how to eat vegan at non-vegan restaurants, is to go straight to the allergen info on the ingredients list of any foods that you're trying to buy. It will typically say contains milk or egg, and that's a very good, easy, quick place to start, rather than try to look through every single ingredient and figure out if it's vegan or not. If it says contains milk and egg, then obviously that's a no. If it doesn't contain milk and egg, then you can go in and look at the ingredients a little more closely and see if there's like something hiding in there. But for the most part, that's a really easy way to like cut your shopping time in half.
My next tip is, because I was raised on a lot of Southern food, including like collard greens and stuff. And you know how soul food and stuff, it has that like smoke flavor from the meat? Add liquid smoke, which you can get at the grocery store. It's literally liquidized. I don't even know if that's a word, but it's literally like liquidized smoke, and it adds so much depth of flavor into like those kinds of foods and meals.
I feel like that's a really underrated ingredient.
Oh yeah, liquid smoke. Don't sleep on the liquid smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do too much. Don't do too much. It
Like a
literally,
drop.
you only need a little baby drop.
A
little baby drop.
I did that once on accident, but
Oh,
that's
no.
I have a heavy hand with everything. Salt, hot sauce. I'm like,
Yeah, I know.
With the
Well, you
liquid
think
smoke.
that like usually more would be better, but
Yeah.
not with
Yeah.
that.
Not
with
with
that.
that. A lot goes a long way.
my next one, I don't know if this is necessarily simplifying, but for me personally, sometimes I don't feel like going to the grocery store and having to check the labels on everything. So I look up like local, if there's a small vegan grocery store. I know that those are hard to come by, but you know, Google it, see if there's any around in your area. I know in LA, there used to be one in Santa Monica, but it closed, unfortunately.
Oh,
yeah.
The one
but-
in Ocean Park?
I think so, yes.
God.
And we used to go there all the time, and it was just so nice to like go in and be able to just like grab anything and not have to check labels, not have to worry about it. But that's, I think, more of like an LA privilege. So
Where do you go, besties?
yeah, well, I actually haven't been there before.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I haven't
Yeah,
been.
Follow your
It's-
heart.
Besties is
Follow your heart is great.
Besties
It's,
has all types of meats.
Brendan went one time and got some like prosciutto and all sorts of
I
fun
need to go
stuff.
there.
But yeah, follow your heart. If you live in LA, that's a great one. It's just like nice to be able to just like go to a grocery store, not be checking labels, and
Yeah.
So
Honestly, that's a good tip. Like, if you do live in a big city, I think a lot of big cities, that's becoming more common.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
least like a vegetarian market or
Yeah.
something like that. So,
Yeah.
Alessandra's next one is buy fruit in season. It's cheaper that way.
I forget to do that.
I always forget to do that. I'm like literally Googling, when is peach season over?
I don't even look. I'll buy fruit and it tastes disgusting, and I'm like, why does it taste so bad?
Yeah, I forget about that. I definitely want to start eating more in season. Like, I think I need to print off one of those lists that tell you.
Yes.
Farmers markets are great for that because they mostly sell things that are in season. So it's like
so true.
You don't even have to worry about it.
True.
I used to go to the farmers market more.
Yeah.
Hit up your local farmers market. All right, my next one is not food related, but for shopping for cruelty-free household items and beauty products. I know that is super overwhelming, especially if you're a new vegan. And the thing that I usually look for is a cruelty-free certification. So there are a couple organizations, and I'll put the logos on the screen of what the organizations are, because a lot of times people will just put a random bunny on there and pretend like it's cruelty free, and it has to be one of these logos that I'm putting right here, and I'll link all of the websites down below for you to check out as well. So just make sure that it's certified cruelty free. That's the safest way to know. And honestly, I will just Google the brand and certified cruelty-free and see what comes up. And if it comes up, sometimes it'll come up on Leaping Bunny. Sometimes it will come up on PETA or like different things like that. So then that's an easy way to get your shopping done for your household stuff and your beauty stuff.
My next one is egg replacements. So we know that there's the Bob's Red Mill egg replacement, which is amazing. I use that. And then now there's like Just Egg and those things. But my favorite one is flaxseed because I feel like I always have flaxseed on hand. And then flaxseed has so many great benefits. So I love replacing egg with flax seeds. And for that, you just need a tablespoon of flaxseed meal and 2.5 tablespoons of water. And you just let it sit. And that's 1 egg. You can also do chia seeds, which is 1 tablespoon of chia seeds and 2.5 tablespoons of water. And once again, just let it sit for 5 minutes, and it thickens up.
Yeah.
Because that's what an egg is in recipes.
Yeah.
Just thickening.
Right, both of those. Did you say they were ground?
Oh. And this is like ground flax and ground chia seeds. And also, you can do a 4th cup of applesauce.
Oh,
yes, that's right. I remember back in the day before Just Egg, that was what I would use all the time. Yeah, and it's nice to know that it's like a healthier version.
Yeah, like you're adding such a healthy ingredient into whatever recipe you're making.
And you know what? A lot of those like store-bought like muffins and cakes and stuff that ask for egg and milk, you can literally add that and a plant-based milk.
Yeah.
And you don't have to make
delicious.
anything from scratch.
Yeah.
So this is more for new vegans, and it applies to clothes, shoes in particular. I remember one of my girlfriends, when she first went vegan, she bought a pair of shoes that looked like they were canvas, but didn't think about like that outer edge and on the back. And just make sure that you're checking on the shoes, because sometimes it's so hard to find out if there's leather on them. It's like a little symbol. It looks almost like a rug, like a those like animal skin. Yeah, it looks like a little animal skin rug, which is like gross, but it basically tells you like that there's leather on the shoe.
Yeah.
And it's always on there. It's always on like a little sticker on the bottom of the shoe. That's something that took me a while to figure out. I would look at a shoe and think like, oh, that's not leather, it's mostly canvas. But you just don't think about it. And one of my girlfriends bought a pair of shoes one time, and she felt so guilty. And she was like, I didn't even think about this. So I don't know if many people know that, but look out for that little shape that looks like animal skin.
Yeah.
It's a great tip. Alessandra's next one is, if you don't know if you'll have food to snack on while you're on the road or traveling, bring snacks to munch on. This is a lifesaver for when you're somewhere that doesn't have as many options. Dried fruit, nuts, seeds, chocolates, dates, protein bars, cookies, etc.
Stay ready.
Yeah.
Stay ready.
Yep.
Yes.
If you have those, then you won't even think about it. Like, I know when I travel, I always have like a Cliff Bar or some kind of like heavy energy bar on hand, because there might be a day where you're like stuck on a plane or you're stuck on a train and there's nothing for you to eat, and like if you eat that, then you're just like not even thinking about it. You know what I mean?
And just make your own little trail mix or something.
Yeah.
It's so nice to just know that you have a few things packed that'll hold you over, because you will be traveling sometimes to places that just will not have anything for you.
Yep. And then my tip is have your safety option that you can order at almost any restaurant. So particularly with like non-vegan restaurants, I know when I'm going to a Mexican food spot, if they provided they don't use lard in their rice and beans. I can get a bean and rice burrito, no cheese, add avocado or guacamole, and then I'll usually get like the wet sauce on top. That's like a very safe, easy option. You know, in Italian restaurants, I make sure that the pasta is not fresh, so there's no egg. I ask for no butter, no cheese on the pasta, and just like a classic marinara. You could always add mushrooms, artichokes, capers, like make it your own kind of thing.
She knows her stuff.
I know my stuff, okay? But it makes it so easy when you're somewhere new and you're like, okay, an Italian restaurant, I'm gonna ask them if they can make a pasta with no butter, no cheese, add all of these things. Most Italian places have those things. And it's like familiar to me, so I don't feel like I'm sacrificing. Like, I know I like those things, so I don't feel like I'm sacrificing when I go out to eat.
What is wet sauce?
It's like the salsa that they put on top of like enchiladas.
Oh.
The like red sauce.
Yeah.
So good. It's
I
usually
love red
vegan.
sauce.
Yeah.
So my next tip is, because a lot of people don't know this, but you can make the most delicious ice cream out of frozen bananas. Just if your bananas are getting, once they're ripe, put them in the freezer. Once they're frozen, you could throw them in the blender, a little plant milk, and I like to add a little vanilla or like a little cacao powder.
Peanut butter.
Yeah, peanut butter. Strawberry. You can make strawberry nice cream. We call it nice cream. But literally you can make like this delicious frozen dessert in minutes.
Yeah. And that's something you could always have on hand too, like if you ever have a sweet tooth. And my bananas always go bad before I can use
Mine
them.
too.
So I
Oh,
always
man.
do that.
The amount of frozen bananas I have in my freezer, I'm ashamed to say, but I have a lot of bananas for ice cream and banana bread and all sorts of good things.
Yep, same.
My last tip will have to be to watch The Vegan View. I love it!
Yes!
But in all seriousness,
Great tip.
I know. I mean, no, but in all seriousness, like just follow accounts that, you know, make everything a little more simple for you, make it easier for you, especially when you're new to it. A lot of like vegan Instagrammers will have highlights that will be showing you like ways to veganize recipes or et cetera, et cetera. Just surround yourself with what is vegan. And, and people have all sorts of different tips because everyone has had their own like specific, unique vegan journey, and everyone has their own tips that will help, I think, anyone, honestly.
Yeah.
But watch The Vegan View.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's so great. You learn from other people and
Yeah.
like take things and you make them your own, and it's just great.
I think it helps you feel less alone too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like people, you're like, oh, I relate to this person, they understand. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah.
Aww.
Yay.
I love this. I love this topic. This is a video I wish I saw 9 years ago.
Same.
When I first, you know.
I would have felt a lot less alone, that's for sure.
Yeah. We hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, thanks so much for watching. Comment down below any of your vegan hacks that you use in your life to simplify your life. Don't forget to give this a video thumbs up if you found it helpful. Share it with your friends that may also find it helpful. Subscribe before you leave. Join our Facebook group. Check out our individual channels down below. And we will see you next week for another episode.
Bye, guys. We love you.
Mwah.